1, 2, 3, 4. Fairy tales can come true, can happen to you if you're young at heart. For it's hard, you will find, to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams, and life gets more exciting with each passing day. And love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. Here's the best part: you have a head start if you are among the very young at heart. If you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. Here's the best part: you have a head start if you are among the very young at heart.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
It's a fancy film.
So, welcome to Hawaii, Donna.
Thank you. It's been quite a trip to get here, but I'm so glad I
You were
made
just
it.
telling me you should have been here yesterday.
Yes, I should have been here yesterday.
Spent all day
yeah.
flying and waiting in line.
Exactly. So, I don't know. Like you hear about it in the news, you read about it, and then you're like, it can't be that bad. It was that bad.
You had a canceled flight.
Yeah, I did. So,
You were almost late.
and you know what sucks about those flights too is that they give you false hopes because you're close to the time. They're like, okay, they make an announcement, we're gonna have 1 hour delay. So it was a 2 p.m. flight, and then they announce again in a span of like 10 minutes, okay, it's been delayed for 2 more hours, so the departure time is now 4 p.m. They did this like in 10-minute increments until they said 6 p.m. And then they had explained that it's like they couldn't find a crew to do it. And then after that, it's like, okay, no, we totally lied. They didn't say they totally lied, but they basically said it's a maintenance issue, and then the flight is absolutely canceled. So you're just like, why you do this to me? Announce it 5 times, delayed it like all the way 4 hours, and then finally like they canceled the flight. So
And then they gave you hotel vouchers that you couldn't
yes.
use.
Yeah, so I think that was really the last straw. So it's funny too, like while they're announcing it, because you can sense it, oh, this flight's gonna be canceled. Just we have to run because we knew right away that people are gonna line up at the assistance kiosk and stuff like that. So we had to run there, and it took so long to like, because there's a long lineup already. Because the same people, it's the same. All of us are thinking the same thing. We have to run to the line, so we're gonna be the first person there, and then you get there, and it's like, they give you vouchers, and you kind of appeased a little bit. And it's one of those situations, too, because you want to get angry, but there's so many of you guys in the same boat. Like, you know, you want to be angry about it, but, like, really, what will that do, though? Because everybody's on edge already. It's just going to be exhausting to be angry. And okay, they're doing what you're expecting them to do. You're like, well, if I'm gonna overnight here, you need to give me like a voucher for a hotel, and they did that. So they gave you a hotel, they gave you like vouchers for meals and stuff like that, and we're like, okay, this is fine, this is fine. You were so nice. It's just that like once you get to the hotel, and the hotel's like, there are no more rooms. It's just like, what do you?
It gets better. Gets
What
better.
is happening? So it was pretty wild. And after that, just like when we were told you have to go back to the airport to get another voucher for another hotel, it was just one of those things where I'm like, we're too angry to like stand in line anymore. We'll just I don't know, pay this out of pocket again, additional expense. Oh, we just come back for them later. Like, we're keeping receipts. We're just gonna go ahead and, like after the trip, maybe talk to them about it. And they did point us to like the air passenger rights and stuff like that for compensation for.
Oh yeah. They have to be upfront about it.
Yeah,
So-
follow up on that
Yeah.
because you know how it is. They'll get away with what they can.
Yeah, because like, so when we were finally at the hotel and we're having dinner, we're just like, so what are they gonna be paying for today? It's just like picking your meal. But no, it's it was rough, but we were happy because again, like when it happened, this was via this airline, and when I was looking at the airline, how are they gonna do this? Because there are no flights on the 8th. I'm like, I'm totally gonna miss the podcast. It's not gonna happen. So I messaged Andrew, but then they rebooked it through a different airline. So I didn't know that they could do that.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. I didn't even see a message.
so I messaged you. So what happens is
I was
like,
like at a wedding all day yesterday, so I don't know.
it's all good. So it's probably helpful that way. Like, what happens too is, I don't know, social media is weird sometimes, but I was actually like posting this happening the whole time, and it's actually quite interesting to see the response of people, because to be honest,
It's been happening to a lot of people.
yeah, it's been happening to a lot of people. I was actually surprised at the kindness of the few folks, because there's even like a couple messages being like, if you still have like any more delays, like we have a spare bedroom here. Like, I'm just like, that's so nice, because you like, because really like you know, you appreciate that they're your followers, but at the same time, really, they don't know you.
You're
don't
not
know
expecting
them.
to get a free room out of it.
Yes, exactly. Like, it's just like a way to vent out, because otherwise I'm just gonna lash out at everyone else. I just wanna like but it was
You said one of the things that kept it okay is you have a very calm husband.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know if I could have been.
honestly, like, it takes a lot for him to like be angry. So he was because I was softly, quietly crying when they announced that the flight was gonna be canceled, because it was just too stressful. But like, he stayed calm throughout the whole thing, and I think in a way, because there were a lot of people cracking. When I say cracking, like they were just all on edge and
They were ready
snapping.
to hit
So
somebody.
yeah, they were all ready to hit somebody, and so you have a few people there that did that, and you kind of watch that, and it's kind of like a reflection too, where you're like, okay, you know, you're kind of living vicariously through them, but at the same time, you realize like that
Didn't change anything.
didn't change anything.
Could
So
be
it's
worse.
just exhausting. So there's no point in like, but you definitely have to like step away, because I know like for most, like I just stood there and just like, and I just let him handle everything. If he wasn't there, I would have totally just lost my mind.
Yeah,
So.
because what can you really do in that situation? You just have to like, all
Yeah.
right, this is how it is.
Yes.
I gotta accept
yeah,
it.
you can complain to some people, but it's probably like beyond them.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you have to take up
Yeah.
with, later.
And
so.
to be completely honest with you, you can tell that the people who work at the airport have been like dealing with this every day.
Oh yeah.
That they're
That's
just
what we
like
Why do you think
also
they're short-staffed?
exactly.
said. No, I don't want to do this crap.
No, but that's the thing too. Like, they're, even if you appeal to their senses of like, it's just like they're used to it now. Like, they've been dealing with all of these like scenarios of people getting angry, of people getting devastated, crying, that they're just like, numb to it.
emotions.
Yeah,
Desensitized
just like
to it, yeah.
desensitized
Straight-faced the whole
completely.
time.
Restaurant
Yeah.
workers.
Yeah, just like, yeah. No.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's a voucher.
Because even going through the immigration, because it wasn't, well, when we were still traveling, like, and with the normal resource and all that, normally people are nice enough, like, oh my god, my flight is like in 15 minutes, can I skip the line? And in this case, you just can't, because everybody's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, because you have like 600 people.
we're
too.
all we're all on that same boat. So nobody, every time somebody is like can I skip the line? You get like, no, I have a flight too, like right now. So it's just like everything was like that. So every time they go to somebody, like I have like, no, it's not that I don't want to help you, but you can't do anything.
Can't
So
really do anything. Yeah.
yeah, so you kind of just sit there, and so many of them just like, yeah, we're missing the flight. We're just gonna be rebooking
Could
it.
be one of those days.
Yeah, so
Let's talk about some happier stuff.
yeah.
Like ukulele.
I'm just happy. Yeah, I'm just happy I made it here.
Yes, totally.
Yes.
Now
You're not
you
gonna
can
make a lot of people happy with
take
that.
You
It's
got
so happy.
How did you get that?
rarest beasts of the jungle there.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with it. It's funny because it took a while for me to kind of like you know how like you play on ukulele and they all say it's amazing, and then you play it and you're like, I don't know, I kind of still like the one word better. Like you know,
Yeah, you
little
gotta
things.
get used to it.
you
It has
got-
to grow on you.
Yeah, exactly. And because I chose to like bring this to the podcast, so I've been spending a lot of time with it. And yeah, I'm starting to kind of like grow a certain affection for it.
It
for it. But yeah, like it's
Well, I like the
love it.
Moonbirds better because we get a lot more.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
only they would.
If only we could get this and a few other, models that.
And the
people-
one we got
Why
working
did, why
on
did
too.
you put up your instrument? Because, yeah, I was just about to mention what you guys were playing
Sorry.
during that song. Oh, that song, Young at Heart? Who is that? old jazz?
It's an old jazz. Like that's actually a great question. Young at heart. I want to say, oh my God, is it Frank Sinatra that I heard it from? I don't even know. But yeah, it's
Old standard.
It's an old standard, which I'm very, very partial to. I just find that my voice kind of lends itself to that kind of music. And if I'm being completely full disclosure, so we went to Hawaii because I'm turning 40.
You don't look 40. You don't even look near
What?
40.
I'm turning
I don't
40.
believe that.
I'm turning 40. Technically, I already turned 40 because in the Philippines it's already August 9. So it kind of works out because in my wedding anniversary is on the 16th of August as well. So every year it's kind of like the same thing. It's kind of like a joint. It's my birthday / like wedding anniversary, and for my 40th, I'm like, I really want to go to Hawaii,
a
and
good
purely
gift.
because of the ukuleles. If I'm being honest.
First time to Hawaii?
Yes, first time to Hawaii. So.
It's going to be good from here on. Sorry about
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm really hoping for. That's gonna be great. I mean, as soon as I landed too, like I know we were joking about it earlier, but it's weird because it's my first time here, but it did feel very familiar.
Because you're from the Philippines.
Yeah, I'm from the Philippines. The smell of it, like because the heat, it's just from the
Oh.
ground, like it's
Super
just.
humid.
Feel the air.
Yeah, we land, and as soon as we got to the the airport baggage, and I'm like, it smells like sunscreen and salt water. It's just yeah, like it reminds me of the Philippines for sure. It felt at home, and even so, like even the people, like I don't think I have a problem blending in, like in terms
Oh,
of like
yeah, well,
yeah, so
yeah.
That's
Very-
true, yeah.
Lots of Filipinos here.
yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, even the food, just everything. So it just feels very familiar.
Talk about your journey with ukulele.
Yeah, so I think like most people, I picked it up during the pandemic. So I've been singing my whole life. I've been an active member of an a cappella group. Actually, so let's backtrack a bit. So when I moved to Canada 2011, I didn't know anybody. I moved there for love because
Oh,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm married to a Canadian, so my husband. So I moved here, and the very first thing that I did was like I look for a group to sing with because that's kind of like what I've been doing pretty much since I was like 5, singing in a group, and I found an a cappella group based in Ottawa, and that's kind of like what I did since I moved to Canada. So we met up every Monday night, and we have like 3 or 4 concerts a year. It's been great for me because it's one of those things that you do in a new country where it's not completely anchored to somebody else because you like move here and don't have my family, and then you move to Canada and it's like every person that you know is associated to this guy and you don't have your own because you lost your
Oh,
core
yeah.
group
You don't.
of
That
friends.
must have felt.
It's it
Felt
felt
weird.
it felt weird. So, but when the pandemic happened, clearly we couldn't congregate.
That must have been worse.
Yeah, we couldn't congregate. We couldn't meet up. We had to cancel the concert that we were supposed to like have in May 2020, and it just felt sad that like I couldn't sing anymore because you've been doing that for a really long time, and I wanted to accompany myself. I mean, it's nice to have to sing, but I've always wanted to be able to like accompany myself.
So this is your first instrument.
I did try the guitar but failed. uh, the guitar is just much harder, I find. Although I find that when I come back to the guitar now after the ukulele, it's gotten much easier. But that's kind of like the story behind it. So 2020, I wanted to still be able to like sing and accompany myself, so I picked up the ukulele, and I haven't looked back
It's
since.
a real testament
It's
to
only 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, in only that short period of time, and you're playing all these fancy jazz chords and doing it.
So I guess like it's again like obsession helps. Like I just really love the sound of it, like, and it was weird because in many ways I've been singing my whole life, but I also felt like a new musician wise, and this was the whole kind of world that was introduced to me by the ukulele. Because like when
It's
I
a
sing,
great community. isn't it?
exactly, when I sing, for example, like I've always been just like I guess in a way like dependent on somebody else's arrangement of a song. You know what I mean? And the key as well that I have to sing it in, it's always like,
Oh, right,
this is
right,
the
right.
key that you're gonna sing it in, and I'm a soprano, I'm gonna sing it in this key because somebody else arranged it for it. But when I picked up the uke and you realize, I'm like, oh my god, like for me to sing this song, it's only like 3 chords, 4 chords. It's awesome. And then after that, like, okay, there has to be something else after F, G, C, and A and D. Like, and then that's when I started looking up like Dr. Uke. It's like a website, and his arrangements are so jazzy, but it gives you that motivation and that new challenge. And yeah, it just so happens to like I really like a lot of the jazz standard songs. I find that it lends itself better. But so yeah, obsession helps, and I think the biggest tip that I heard about learning an instrument is really having it out, because
Having it
sometimes
accessible, right?
accessible,
Yeah.
because when you store it, like out of sight out of mind, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you have it out and it's just right there, the chances of you like just picking it up is just there. And
Get a wall hanger.
If
yeah,
my uncles
exactly.
could hear what you just said, they'd be like, "Yeah,
Yeah, right. I know.
sorry guys, I kind of have a life."
You know, but that happens to me too, like, and I think that's where kind of like social media started. So to be honest, like we're talking about the learning curve, like the speed of which I learned the instrument. Like I attribute a lot of that to Cynthia Lynn actually, because Cynthia Lynn was the one who introduced me to uke. I think I've been watching her channel even before I picked up the ukulele.
Are you guys gonna hang out while you're here?
Oh, I didn't reach out to her. We're not, I don't know, we're not that close. I don't feel kind of like, hey, I'm going to be here, Cynthia. I don't think we have that kind of relationship. It would be cool for sure, but
You never know. Cynthia's
yeah,
super
she's
nice.
pretty,
She would,
she's pretty
I'm
laid
sure
back.
she'd be like, "Yeah, let's hang, let's chill."
Yeah, like, I mean, we follow each other on Instagram, and like, so that's the thing. So she does the 100 day. So I signed up on that on the private. So it's a private Facebook group. So you have like hundreds of people doing this every day. So that's how I started. I posted every day for 100 days. And then it's also that same community that said that, Donna, you should build an Instagram account. And I'm like, hey, but then other people will see it. Other people will see it. But yeah, so like I think you should do it. So it's the same community that encouraged me to start it on Instagram, and then yeah, that's kind of like
Took off
where
from
it
there,
started.
yeah.
It took off from there, and I've been participating in that 100-day project for 3 years now. So
Oh,
and
wow.
What is that? Is it 100
100 days of, and it's honestly it's
different songs? Is that
so
what it is?
there's no strict rules to it, because the main thing about it is just encouraging you to pick up the uke
And do
every
something
day
with
and
it.
do
Ah,
something
okay.
with it. It's just like I got a little bit nuts and went with 100 songs for 100 days. The first 2 years were a little bit intense because I did the full song every time. This third year was actually like, hey, let's go real type, where it's just like 1 minute. We'll
Oh,
just
yeah,
do
yeah,
a 1 minute take on the song. But yeah, so you're free to do. It's really just encouraging you to pick up the uke and do something, practice every day. And it's not even like consecutive days. Just do it at your own pace.
Do at least 100. Okay.
Yeah, but that's definitely what helped with the learning curve, I find, because you're playing every day. You're playing every day. You're learning a song every day, and that's one of the happy, I would say, things too that came about like learning you, because I didn't think it was gonna impact my voice, but it did, because along with the fact that you're playing every day, you're also singing every day. I mean, I was singing already, but like I was singing like once a week, twice a week in a group. You're practicing your rehearsal, but because you're also singing every day, then I grew a certain appreciation. In a way, it kind of like helped me find my voice as well, which I thought was pretty cool. And yeah, it just, at least for me, like I love the guitar, but I also feel like it's a match.
Size-wise.
Like size-wise,
There you
my
go.
voice, like I just, it really complements
So
it
convenient
well.
too.
Yeah.
Just as you just
Yeah.
you play wherever you want.
It is a little more inviting, hanging there to just pick it up and play. It's less cumbersome than big old guitar, yeah.
It's not intimidating at all.
Yes, it's not intimidating, and the fact that like you can, C, G, F, and all that, like, and then you can do a song. Whereas with
So many possibilities. Yeah.
so many possibilities already, and with the uke, sometimes you don't even have to sing a song. Like sometimes even open, you're just like, sounds so beautiful. Just like doing, I would be doing that, like just sitting there and not even like fretting, and just it just sounds awesome. And I think that's also one of the things where you get into not real arguments, but you get into that whole discussion sometimes of like, is it worth buying an expensive ukulele? And I always go by with like, if you can't discern it for yourself, the quality of it, like, then yeah, there's no point, because unless you actually grow a certain appreciation and you hear it yourself, because you can't just like say buy it just because everybody says it's amazing.
So are you an ukulele connoisseur?
I would say I'm Donna. I'm an ukulele-holic.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go. I would say that first. I would say connoisseur, because I feel like there's so many ukuleles I haven't tried.
Oh right,
before,
right.
you know.
That's okay, we're
yeah. I haven't tried, but
to the
for
source.
yes, but for sure, I definitely believe that like there's a difference to it. Like you hold it, the build, the response is different, and just the sound of it is
They're all different. The response is
amazing.
different.
And that's also another thing. Like, why do you have so many, Donna? What do you mean? They all sound so different. They all sound so different. They all have
Say
very
it louder for
different
the people in the back.
personalities. Yeah, I know. They all have very different personalities. Like, yeah. And even my husband, who's not really into this, it's just like sometimes would be like, I'd be practicing a song and would just randomly say, "You're using the wrong ukulele for that." I'm like, oh my god. This is my proudest moment.
Yeah. You know
Does
this.
he play as well?
Oh my god, no, that's why I'm so proud when he says stuff like that. 'Cause I'm like, oh yeah, so you hear it. I'm like, yeah, you should totally use this ukulele for it. I'm like, oh, look at you go. Like,
That's a sign.
I
He
know.
has the ear.
Yeah, but so
You gotta start playing too.
yeah, so and I use that kind of like moment. I'm like, this is noted, so that next time you ask me why I need to buy another one, I'm like, yeah, because
Write it down.
it's but
I think your ear for tone is even different than like your pitch ear in a way. I know people that like can play really well but don't seem to like care as much or notice as much.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. It's like even just playing open or simple chords on something that really sounds rich and has depth and overtones, and it's like, wow. I mean, those that feel it know it, right?
yeah, it's and so coming here, I think that's. I think I would say though that do I feel like I have an edge in some way after singing for a long time? I would say there is, because you understand musicality, so you understand like dynamics in playing, because a lot of the times for like newbies in a way, there's that regimented, very stiff kind of like
Straightforward.
playing
One,
like
4 Fs,
yeah,
4 Cs.
down,
Loud and
like,
proud.
yeah,
Gs.
yeah, exactly. So they're missing that kind of like nuance. So I in a way that kind of like
Right off the bat, you know that
Amazing.
needs
Yeah.
to be
there
spiced
has to
up.
be like certain
So,
dynamic to
You're a
it.
musician.
I think that's it. It's just there's a certain like dynamic that you have to like add into it, and my biggest thing too is just like I just want to make sure that like I don't. I think that's what people always comment on. Like, hey, your voice is beautiful, but I'm like sometimes I'm like, but how was my playing though? Don't you think it was awesome? Like, so I also
Because
like
that's what's new for you.
Oh, you know, I'm like that's what I fixate on the most.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make sure that the playing actually sounds.
Well, that's great
Good
that
as
you
well.
care. You know, a lot of singers more just rely on their voice and kind of strum along or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's nice to see you progress so much in such a short amount of time.
So Cynthia is like a biggest like influence to me, but one of the biggest steps I would say too is like having Mika as my teacher, because like technique wise, like he added a lot,
Oh yeah,
a lot
Yeah.
to it.
he has a good
Which-
ear.
Which I didn't think, because when we first kind of like met up, like, do you want to think about technique or music theory? I was like really leaning more on the music theory because I just feel like it's something that I need to tackle. It's also just like weird to have like music sheets your whole life and also still like totally did not invest as much time as I probably needed to really like fully grasp it. And the thing with theory, sometimes it's daunting because people teach it to you, but they don't really apply it on the
Right.
ukulele.
It's the
So
application.
it's the app. So it's like I want it to be a practical application of the theory rather than it being staying as a theory. I'm like, yes, you can quiz me and I will tell you what it means, but I don't know how it applies to the instrument, which is weird. So I think that's probably like one of the
He's
biggest
helping
things.
make those
yeah,
connections.
exactly. He's helping making those connections and the technique. Like, it's kind of nice. Like, that's the other thing about this hobby is because I've documented it since I started. You hear like the progress of that you made, and even like after Mika, like you can hear like right away Mika's all about legato, like, you know, like the abrupt
Like you can't tell, or
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell that you only been playing for like 2 years.
I know.
thanks.
It sounds at least like 5.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's like
guys.
you're a veteran by now.
Thank you so much. In my mind, I'm like, they're lying, but no, but yeah, it's encouraging.
You're doing good. You're doing good work.
Yeah.
Great.
Keep it up.
So I want to
Thanks.
talk for a second about what we had come in the mail yesterday that you guys have in your
I don't know,
hands.
was that fresh?
Really?
Oh, this is fresh.
That's
Oh, I'm sorry. Friday they came in,
that's still
yeah.
fresh.
That's still pretty
Yeah.
fresh.
and
It was a 6-day span.
we got a couple Pepe custom Guileles and a handful of his new Guitarras Romero Tenors. Corey, why don't you go first? Talk about what you got and give us a sound sample on it.
So, this, just as Andrew was saying, came in 3 days ago. This is with spruce top, beautiful maple wood back and sides, ebony binding. These are made in San Diego by Pepe himself, and happens to be one of my favorite Guileles of all time for very specific reasons. Just sings very well.
Yes.
It's very easy to play out of the box. And the size of it, this is like a baritone, which isn't too far from a tenor. So I play a guitar. Navigating the instrument, the fretboard is not very hard. And
In fact,
whatever
it's
you
a
throw at it,
19-inch, so it's not even quite the scale of a full
It's the
baritone.
old scale baritone.
Yeah,
And right now we have it tuned G to G. It's just a good instrument all around. It makes you want to play everything. The overtones are really nice.
jeez,
What is that?
it's like feeding back inside the body. It's like ringing out so loud.
It's still going. That is weird.
Yeah.
It's like, the pad settings on keyboards that just kind of give you that fill in the background.
It's a different experience compared to watching it on YouTube and being here. I will say that for sure.
You get to
But
see all the behind the scenes stuff.
yeah, and no, like it fills the room, like you said. Like you hear that overtone is crazy, and I'm a big fan of Romero because they're my first high-end ukulele.
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah. So I got like high-end, like that price range. The tiny tenor is the first one. That I'm like, after that, I'm like, I am never buying an ukulele that's not like this again. So it's
Well,
big
a
fan.
guitar like this for you would be something a lot more enticing to pick up than the
So-
full body.
So you guys just came out like fairly recently, I would say, like with all of these like Guileles, like the maple, the spalted maple ones.
Oh, right,
And-
right.
Oh my god, I so regret that I didn't pick up any of those. Cause yeah, it's the nylon, and I think the nylon will change stuff for me. Is it nylon or is it
It
steel?
is. It is
Okay.
nylon.
Oh, actually, fluorocarbon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but not steel string. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can give it a try after.
Pepe's got a unique skin bracing that he uses on his customs, and yeah, the sound is powerful, deep, all of the great adjectives you can think of. Pretty
Just-
phenomenal.
Throw it at it. Then rosewood fingerboard. Not gonna disclose what type of rosewood. The good kind. Same thing on the faceplate. Fitted with Goto tuners. Some of the best tuners you can get. This thing is so lightweight too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it sounds massive.
Okay, let's see what I can do. I don't know, something like that.
Phenomenal sound.
I know, I'm sure it's not just me wondering about this, but when you guys do the sound sample, did you know what you're gonna do?
Nope.
Or
Maybe sometimes, maybe like 5% of the time. you're Like, I think I want to play this song, and it's usually songs we just recycle.
Mhm.
I don't know
Or-
if anybody
that is
caught on
wild to me. That is wild to me that you guys are like seconds before. You guys don't know like, what you're gonna play, and it just comes out like that.
Yeah,
Well,
we
it's
just play
not
with
even-
chord progressions
It's
and
not
melodies.
even
And
not knowing what they're gonna play, but it's like it's not a thing that they're playing, but more like a wandering musical thought or whatever.
It's because like with every instrument, you probably noticed having multiple ukuleles. Each instrument sounds better when played a certain way, and sometimes like if you have a song in your head, it might not work for the piece that you're doing. You might have to rethink it. So kind of playing to the instrument rather than trying to showcase your musical skills is what we're trying to do.
See, that's the thing. Like, it's very intuitive for you guys, like playing it, and that's kind of like it's like a goal of mine. Because right now, because even you guys pick melodies from it. It just comes to life, and that's the thing. Like, I can't do that. I'm very much stuck to.
You're on the right track.
I'm very much stuck to a pattern. You know what I mean? Like, I can do chord progressions, but the way I will play a chord progression is very much stuck on a pattern of like picking or strumming. But you guys just, it's like the melody lives there, and you guys just like pick it. And I'm like, it's like magic to me.
A lot of it is like knowing scales.
Yeah, what talk a little bit more about finding a freedom on the fretboard.
So
Time, of course, is
knowing
helpful.
a lot of it is time. If you happen to have it, you're gonna be using a lot of it, figuring out, where all the notes are in do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. A lot of the melodies too. I was looking back at, because I hear that comment and I see it often. It's like, you guys just play it off the top of your head, and it's like, not really. A lot of them are variations of melodies that we already know. We play something along the lines of a song that already exists. So that, I'm pretty sure, is something.
It's kind of like knowing your options and knowing where you can go, but trying to go where you want to is a different.
That's almost like
thing.
that Bobby Caldwell song. A little bit.
Yeah. Guess you wonder where I've been.
Yeah. Do for love. Okay, so
like that.
Kalei's got the Guitarras Romeros are built by Wolfgang Yellinghaus. He's a German classical builder that built like for 30 or 40 years in Germany, and then relocated to China, where he started a small shop with a handful of luthiers there building his Yellinghaus guitars. So Pepe got to know him. He's basically done a reproduction of Pepe's 14 fret to body, and I mean, it's like the neck, the sides and the neck have that heel joint, the classical heel joint, which is kind of more of an expensive process, and they're kind of on another level from what most of the imports are. Talk about that, Kalei.
These sound really good. I wouldn't even consider this an import instrument, because basically it's built by a phenomenal luthier. It's designed by one of the best luthiers in the world. It's just made in a different place where you probably would expect it to be made.
But it's not factory made.
Yeah, it's not factory. It's all like high-end custom boutique level. These take a very long time to make, so they're not just putting them together in a couple of weeks. It's more of like months and a lot of time that goes into each one of these. This one in particular looks to be a cedar top for the soundboard. We have wood bindings and purflings for this ukulele. Rosewood binding along the sides. Nice curly maple for the back and sides. And also the rosewood binding goes down onto the bottom of the ukulele as well. Bone, nut, and saddle, ebony fingerboard with ebony binding along the neck. We have mahogany neck, and I'm not sure what type of tuning keys these are, but they're really smooth. This is a type of color I haven't seen. It almost looks like a black pearl kind of color with a little bit of gray and kind of like a smoky touch to it.
Can you see the bridge real quick? It's like super polished.
Yeah, I know. It's like this is one thing you don't really see too much, is a highly polished bridge on ukuleles.
Only in the classical world you'll see that a
Really?
lot of times. Yeah.
Now that you mention it, it's very shiny.
Yeah. Is there a reason why they do that?
I think it's like classical tradition on
Classical guitars,
chord.
they look before they start.
I was thinking it's like maybe because it seals
Alright.
the wood so it doesn't, I don't know, lift or move. I don't know. I'm just taking wild guesses. I'm not a builder.
It was probably more for appearances. But
Okay.
I think
It works.
I was just.
Didn't Yelagos was he used to teach. He was like he had like apprentices under him too, learning how to build stuff. I forgot who was telling me that. It was
I don't
Noah,
know. I'm not sure.
but he had like a school of Luthery.
Yeah, that sounds. I mean, I wouldn't. That wouldn't surprise me, but
Yeah, don't let that comment
that is pure
throw you off. This
speculation.
is extreme
What?
speculation.
Yeah,
But,
but you know, he's been doing it for I think 50 years, so of course that wouldn't surprise me. When you're doing it that long, you definitely teach some people along the way. But
It's like
pretty
a
phenomenal sound, huh?
I mean, it's like. It's
can
like,
feel it
don't.
in this.
Yeah, it's going to clip the mics. It's like this ukulele announces that it's arrived.
I'm here,
You know?
but it's very well pronounced.
We're not
I'm
kidding
here.
here, and it is very powerful. Oh. Could I borrow that tune?
Super big sounding.
It's like a
Yeah.
warm blanket.
It's like all I want to do is just play chords on it because it just rings so good. But then if you want to add melody, I mean, it sounds so good up here too. It's so good.
Yeah, so the Romero creations are like a fantastic value, but these definitely get a lot closer to Pepe's
Yeah.
custom sound in terms of projection and depth and all like that. So really cool kind of bridge option there in between going full custom and with his Romero Creations line. And we got some more of these too. So we're going to take a quick break, come back with new instruments, and Donna's going to sing us another song.
Show of hands, who knew that it was National Spam Musubi Day?
What?
Oh.
Do we?
Give it a go.
Okay.
Wait.
Why do birds suddenly appear So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair of gold and starlight in your eyes so blue. That is why all the girls in town follow you all around, just like me. They long to be close to you. That is why all the girls in town follow you all around, just like me. They long to be close to you. Close to you. Close to you. Close to you. Close to you.
Did that work? Was that good?
I don't know.
You like it?
I think I like it.
All right.
It's fun.
Yes.
Felt that my solo was a bit lackluster, but
It's up to you.
no, I'm not gonna. If you guys like that, it's fine. But
I mean, I hit a few fart notes there on like a uke, but you guys
I didn't hear anything.
did great.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah, let's go over these similar instruments with different woods. Kalei, start off.
So here's another Romero Guitarras model, and this one features Hawaiian koa for the top, back, and sides. And this is a very good sounding ukulele. I like how it's more of like a simple type of design. There's not a whole lot of inlays, but what's really cool about these instruments is that they all sound and play really well, and we're enjoying all the sustain and the volume. It has rosewood binding, top and bottom. We have some more binding here on the top with some purfling. This one looks like it has a rosewood bridge, ebony fingerboard, rosewood faceplate, mahogany neck, all with a nice finish and really smooth gear tuners. And don't be fooled by these. They have a big voice, and we are thoroughly enjoying testing these out.
really thumpy too.
I know. It has a little bit of mids kind of scooped out as far as tone goes, but it's not like a huge dip. There's still a lot of warm presence in here.
I just find that like with the Romeros, I feel like they've mastered the art of like making small instruments sound big.
Oh yeah.
It's very characteristic of like, I don't know, every time I think about Romero or Pepe Romero, just they always sound big because I have like 3 tiny tenors. I just got the Cedar and Rosewood, and then I have the Spalded Maple, the tiny, but I have the one also in concert just because. But like, it's just one of those things. And again, like it's one of those things where they're small, but they always sound so round. They're
Definitely
not
round,
as.
yeah.
It's very warm sounding too, so it's really good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Tons of body on these Guitarras Romero models too.
Can't go wrong.
All right, Corey, give us a sample. This what's the woods on this one?
So it looks like it's a spruce top as well with wood that has come through a few times. This is Cypress. African blackwood, I'm guessing, is on the neck. Very high density wood.
No, that's not the color of the wood. That's the finish.
Oh, is it stained? I guess.
Yeah, it's probably mahogany.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it's cypress. I don't know. I have to look at the specs. Skip that. Right?
So fast forward. Spanish heel.
Why do you laugh?
Because I was just created a diversion. Spanish heel. What is a neck? It's stained.
It's got a Spanish heel.
But look at that heel. Look at how symmetrical it is. Done very well. I mean, it actually really is.
We'll have all the specs on the website.
Rosewood binding.
Sorry, Pepe.
Ebony. Pepe just.
He's cool.
Rosewood fingerboard, faceplate, Koto tuners, 19-inch scale length, tune G to G, and that's all she wrote. I've been watching Guy Fieri too much.
That one has more body than the previous one.
It does, yeah. This sounds a lot like a guitar.
In the headphones, it's extremely deep.
Yeah, it sounds like a classical guitar, at least. Like, yeah.
There's almost an airiness though that you don't get from a classical guitar.
Yeah, but then at the same time, when you do chords like this, it's like, wow, that's a guitar. Better stop before I keep going.
That was beautiful.
I think the Pepe's custom is like my favorite Guilele. If like money, isn't a factor.
It's the best sounding ones we've ever heard.
I think so.
Dissonant notes.
What's crazy is that even his like tiny tenor version of it is insanely huge sounding.
Yeah. Yeah, those are cool too. Okay, so it's probably dead middle of the night for Donna right now.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. Again,
no,
like
just
I'm having
like-
a blast. I'm just taking in this moment right now. So don't even mind me. This is awesome for me right now. This is crazy. This is crazy that I'm watching you guys play live right in front of me. This is wild.
Glad you could make it.
I'm
Yeah.
like, sometimes I do want to pause it just in case, but I'll do that when it gets listened.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, oh no, what are you doing here? Like, it's just
We got in another one of the Guitarras Romero Tenors.
Yeah. So this is kind of like a combination of the two. So this one has a spruce top, rope style wood binding, wood purfling, rosewood bridge, ebony fingerboard, rosewood faceplate, bone nut and saddle, koa back and sides with rosewood binding, mahogany neck, and super smooth geared tuners. Really enjoying this one. It's interesting, like, because all three of them don't sound anything like alike, because although they do have the same quality of tone, sound, and projection and sustain, they each have their own voices. We've been talking about, like, how ukuleles sound different from each other, and each one of these like kind of inspires like a different style that seems to bring out.
It's like the more open the instrument is, the more you can hear those different characters of the wood.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like for me, like the more open it sounds, the less I want to technically do because of how much it naturally sounds good. It just you could do like a whole sound sample of just like whole note chords, but just being very, I guess you could say just choosing the right ones to bring it out.
Turn slightly that way for the stereo. Yeah, perfect.
Super warm.
So this is the Spruce koa, and it has a kind of a more almost vintage style rope for the purfling going around it.
Nice. It's really nice. Oh, 30-second clip.
I don't know if you guys mentioned yet, but mentioned at some point these are French polished.
Oh,
You
right.
know, they're
Oh, yeah.
very well French polished.
What does that mean, though?
So it's literally hand polished
Oh.
using.
It takes a lot of elbow grease to make this
Okay.
gloss.
But it's like layers on layers of.
It's thinner than a lacquer, so you get a more vibrant.
Because normally, what do they do if it's
It's
not
like a
French
spray.
polish?
versus
Oh, okay,
like,
I see.
rubbing.
Okay.
Yeah, most builders actually avoid like doing French polish because it's very a physical job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Donna, if you could buy one.
Oh my god. I don't know. I'm confused. Actually, like I've always kind of like the spruce koa is kind of nice. So yeah.
I don't know which one I like the best. I think I might like that one.
The cedar's pretty deep. I mean, it's got that cedar.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, I think I'll pick this one. This one just has its
favorite.
fullness.
And I think that was also like one of my biggest worries coming here. I'm like, oh my god, do they think just because I post on Instagram that I actually do this professionally? Because I don't. Because I actually have like an actual like a different career from actually this is something I do on the side as a hobbyist more than anything. So I worry sometimes that people probably think.
No, I mean,
do
I
this full time.
figured that, but it's like you sounded like we could, you guys together could make some great music, and you did.
Yay! Thanks, guys. Again,
Thank you.
I'm so happy. Again, this is awesome. I mean, I kind of want to touch them, but like,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I will do it like off cam.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, tell people how to get a hold of you, Donna.
Well, I'm on Instagram, folks. Donna Ukes. So that's my handle at Donna Ukes. And then I'm also on YouTube. I post a lot of like covers with like chords and stuff like that. I like this background. Yeah, so you can also find me on YouTube. It's my name though. It's Donna Morvan. But yeah, that's it. Let's see it.
How do you spell that last name?
Morvan is M-O-R and then V as in Victory A-N. Morvan. A lot of people say Morgan. It's Morvan. My husband's it's actually like French, so they actually say it Morvan, but it's fine. It's Morvan. So yeah, Donna Morvan on YouTube, and again on Instagram it's Donna Ukes.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you,
up and
Andrew.
blessing us. You're
Corey and Kalei, yay!
Thank
This is a
you.
dream.
you're as
Sorry,
vibrant as the color
artificial.
of your ukulele.
Yes,
Dreams,
yay! I love this thing. Yeah, but thank you.
All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you real soon. Aloha.
Bye.